What's up, party people? It's Chris from ProPhoto, and this is Geared Up. It's our weekly live broadcast where we talk about gear, lighting techniques, we do breakdowns, we kind of go over the ins and outs of lighting in general. We have fun, we take questions, and we try to make some cool pictures. Today, we're gonna be talking about light position. And we're gonna be doing that on the backdrop of all of this pink, as you see. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Just throwing that out there. If you didn't know about Kate a year ago, got diagnosed, had to go in for surgery. Rest is history. She's a survivor, and she's here on Geared Up with us. So today we're gonna be tackling the subject of light position. So I've had a couple of people reach out to me recently, and they're like, hey, where should I put my light? And I could tell you, but I would rather show you how moving that light around is going to affect your image. And that way, as you're going along your photographic journey, you can take that information that you've learned and disseminate that for yourself. You can find yourself in a situation and know, okay, if I put my light here, this is roughly what I'm going to get. And so that's what we're gonna be doing today. Not a lot of talking other than me moving the light around, us talking about how that light's affecting the image. It's probably better that I don't talk, right? But kind of seeing how that light moves around and how it affects the image. Let's just talk about what we're gonna be using gear-wise, and we will move on from it. So I've got everything on a roller stand today because things are gonna be rolling. We're gonna be moving a lot. The only thing that's gonna try to stay consistent is where Kate is standing, how she's standing, and where my camera is. I want the image to be... Hi, Caitlin.
Maybe you could see it.
Oh, gotcha.
It didn't work.
I looked over it, and it was just a big Kate face.
My face.
Just a big Kate face.
Close.
So the only thing that's gonna be consistent is where Kate's gonna be standing, where my camera's gonna be locked off at. Other than that, the light's gonna be moving around. We're going to take this in a couple of different phases. We're gonna talk about height. We're gonna talk about the radius, like it going around the subject, and we're gonna talk about the distance from the subject. So that way you can see how all of that plays a part. We're gonna be using a 3-foot Octa, the new 3-foot softbox Octa that folds open really, really fast. Great modifier. I'm gonna do my best to keep it out of the shot. Sometimes I'm gonna push it a little bit closer so you can see how a close light source affects the image. But for the most part, I'm gonna try to keep it out of the shot. That's why I have it on a grip arm to give me a little bit more mobility about kind of where it is. So that being said, let's start with height. So last week when we were talking, one of the things that I said I like to do is I like to keep my light above the subject's nose. So the actual center of the light above the subject's nose. Usually when that light starts to come straight across, especially if you're not coming from straight front on, the nose starts to kind of push to the side a little bit. And I think that's a little weird. It almost gets into the world of underlighting where the shadows start to go up, more of like that horror look. And that's where we're gonna start. So let's do that, yeah. So, cool. And let's take this grip arm, rock it down, and then we're gonna start low. I'm gonna try to keep, let's kind of see where the light is in the scene. There we go. We're gonna be off to the side a little bit too. You ready to rock, Kate? Cool, we're there. Ready to suit up into your position. So I'm probably gonna, for the most part, take a TTL shot and then kind of lock it into place since the light distance isn't gonna change too much. So here we go, Kate, 3, 2, 1. So this is more of an uplight shot. It's not super flattering. It throws a lot of shadows upwards. It's awesome for maybe something like real kind of scary or ominous. It just, again, it throws the shadows in a funky direction. So now let's bring this up and let's go straight on. Like I said, let's keep the light kind of below the nose, what I was talking about. So this should be kind of the actual head of the flash should be, for the most part, straight on with Kate's nose. I believe, actually, she's in heels, so.
Yeah, it's a little low.
It's a little low. So like right there.
Yeah.
That feels about right. And so now we take the next image, kick this over a little, 3, 2, 1. Not bad, much better than the uplight, but again, for me, I don't love it when the shadows rake straight across the face. It's not my favorite. The position that I generally like, and this, again, this is all subjective. You should like the thing that you like. I'm gonna position the light down a little bit because we're about to start getting higher. All right, ready, Kate?
Someone says, I'm a fan of shooting from underneath, but I shoot a lot of zombies.
Yes, great for zombie work.
Yes.
Great for zombie work. Killer with vampires. Any type of monster that's been pieced together by a doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Franklin Stein. All right, here we go. This is probably more of a natural position for your light. So you're getting, in this position, we're getting a nice loop light. That the loop is that little loop shape we're getting right there below the nose. It's coming down from above now. Again, something a little bit more natural, kind of where, you know, the human eyes kind of evolved to where light generally comes from up above. But now let's take it to the extreme. Let's go way up. Let's see what happens when we boost that light way up high in the air. We're going to point that down a little bit because we're going to need that. Let's go upsies and then upsies. So now we're quite a ways up. And just for baseline of what we were talking about, let's take this shot and then I'll tell you what I was going to say. So we go from above, 3, 2, 1. Not bad. Definitely is going to start having a lot more direction to it. So you're going to start introducing a lot more shadows. Again, it's a nice light. If there was a little fill coming from the other side, it would probably look a lot better, at least to my eye. But the cool thing is, it's still coming from above. It's still real natural feeling. But again, the more the light starts to get off axis from your subject, the more you're going to start introducing shadows. So just so everyone kind of understands too, because I should have said this right in the beginning, baseline, Kate's standing about 6 or 7 feet from the background. So we're trying to keep some distance in the background, some distance between the light. So she's like, 7 to 8 feet away from the background. She's about 7 to 8 feet away from my camera. The light's about 4 feet from her, maybe 3 feet from her. And we're for all of these shots. So let's go here for a second. And let's pull up these shots so you can see. Let's go.
I also see a question.
Cool. I'll check that question. Let me just bring these 4 images up so we can see them. Kate Fain, let's see. Question. It's my man Seth Miranda. What's up, brother? It's a very mauve day over there, eh? Yes, it is. We're going. We're pinking it up for a little breast cancer action. Let's see. I have a studio with a. Oh, here we go. Here's what we're talking about. Show it. I have a studio with a 7-foot 6-inch ceiling. Would a 3-foot softbox work, or would a smaller softbox be better? The model is 5'6". I mean, you'd probably be fine with a 3-footer. So my old space that we originally shot Geared Up in was about the same height. 5'6".
I'm 5'7".
Kate's 5'7", but she also wears heels all the time. So don't, if your person wears heels all the time, like, oh yeah, she's trying to show you her psychedelic heels. She's very psychedelic down.
They're super cool.
Yeah. So a 3-foot octa would be fine, just depending on how you're positioning the subject. Now, if you have the subject sitting, 3-foot octa is gonna be great. You should have tons of room. I know I talked to Clay Cook a bunch of years ago, and we were kind of discussing small spaces, and his original studio is in his living room. Same situation. If you look at a lot of his earlier work, a lot of his subjects are sitting down. It's because his ceilings weren't high enough. So it's one of the things you kind of have to work with what it is that you have. But a 5'6" model, if they stay in shoes that don't make them 5'9", then I think you'd be totally fine with a 6'7" or 7'6" ceiling.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
I mean, we had that.
Yep.
When in the beginning, definitely.
Exactly. So looking over here at the images here, let's actually just blow these up so you can see them larger. Actually, and can I just go full screen on? There we go. So we're full screen on Capture One. So from below right here, again, you're getting those shadows going up. They're a little off-putting. It's a little unnatural. It adds some tension. Again, really, really good for if you're trying to have that in your image. That's the emotion you're trying to emit. Then right here is the light going straight on. So the actual midline of the softbox where the flash head's going through is right at nose level with her. Again, not bad. I don't necessarily, let me bring my loop in. I don't necessarily love like the shadow direction. It's not my favorite. Whereas by positioning that up just a little bit and kicking that shadow down into more of a loop, more of that downward shape, it starts to become a lot more appealing. And the cool thing is too, is the light's still pretty close to straight on, so you're able to avoid some shadows and fill in a lot more of the face. Is really, really good for people who are trying to hide imperfections. And then once you start going up here, you're kind of doing the opposite of what we were doing over here on the left with the light coming from below. But here we're coming from above. We're still creating a lot of shadows because the light's raking across a lot more.
I need like a reflector.
Yeah,
Or something.
the light's raking more across the peaks and valleys of Kate's skin. And so same thing here, the light's raking more across. This is great for creating definition, but if you're not trying to create definition, it's not the move. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Just think about what it is that you're trying to achieve with the image. And if you're trying to remove imperfections, you might want to try to keep that light a little more like just above nose line, maybe even start creeping down towards those a little bit. But I would, again, I think that side shadows a hair unnatural.
Mm-hmm. If you're just using one.
Yeah, so if you're going with one light,
yeah,
I generally tell you just take it up above the nose line for something that's just going to feel, again, more natural. And then if you have some other lights that you can mix in or a lot more reflectors, granted, I could do that here today, but I don't want to. I just want to show you what the light's going to look like. Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about distance. We're going to go closer to Kate with the light and further away from the light, and we're going to see how that's going to affect Kate. We're also going to see how that's going to affect the background. So let's do that now. So cool. I'm going to go to more of a butterfly light setup with this. So essentially, we're shooting the light from underneath the light. So let's go here. I think that'll look nice.
Is Capture One going to just pop back to the single image?
Oh yeah, as soon as I take the image, the Capture One should pop back.
And I'm sorry we don't have a translator.
Sorry, no translator, but
I see your question.
yes, we see your question. If I can get down to the comments later, I'll come back and we'll talk about it. So let's start with close to Kate. So let's get you in the shot real fast. I want to make sure the light's out of the frame. I know it is right now. I just want to kind of get you in the frame and see kind of where we need to position this thing. So.
Same position.
I think so. Let's try to get this just out of frame. I think I probably creeped back in there. Oh, nope, I didn't. Cool. So we're going to flip back into TTL mode for this because this light's going to be moving a lot. So here we go. Chin down just a hair. 3, 2, 1. So that was probably, what, 2 feet away from you, Kate, on the light? Maybe 3 feet? 3 feet away.
I would say.
So let's take it back. So it's a nice light. Really, really beautiful. The background's darker because the light's closer to Kate's fault. You know what? I'm going to mess up kind of my direction, but let's just see what happens when we bring it in just a hair closer. Let's get real close. So that one's probably about the 2 feet mark away, right?
Yes, definitely is.
Just help me remember that I did this.
You moved it a foot.
Yeah. I just want to get this up and out of the scene. I've tried using the little preview with my camera in Capture One. It never seems to work. It'd make setting the light so much easier. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. So that's way closer. Granted, and that light's probably a little higher powered than I want. I'll pull it back a little bit.
I kind of raised my head a little bit inadvertently. Do you want me to?
I think it's probably fine.
Okay.
So there's that one. Now we were back here with the 3-foot shot roughly. And so now let's take it back. Let's double that distance. Let's Make that about 6 feet away from Kate. And let's see how this is going to start affecting the image. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Really, really lovely. So we're obviously, the light's backing up a little bit more. We're starting to get more coverage. Let's take this light back as far as we can get it. Let's get it. So again, right now we're probably 6 to 7 feet away from Kate. So now let's take it. I'm going to be fighting a little bit. You know what I can do? Here, let's do this. Let's do this. Angle this back. Oh, you know, here's what we can do actually. Here's what we can do. I don't suggest this. I'm fighting. Yeah, I'm fighting with my one of my cameras, my main camera actually. So let's just reposition this. I should have thought about this earlier. I did not. We will adjust. Cool. Kick around the B10.
Look at you.
Yeah, just out here problem solving.
You are.
Cool. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to place this directly over the top of the camera. We are probably 10 feet from you.
Yes.
Is my guess. Let's get this kicked over here. A lot of cables as we start getting back towards. Oh yeah, and now you have a grip arm in your face, on top of me being in your face. So let's get this around here, and then. Wow, I opened up a can of worms by doing this. Just an absolute can of worms. We're good though. We're back. All right, cool. Let's get that locked into place. Okay, that's all right. One more time. We're almost good.
Almost there. Pop in some questions.
Yeah, pop in some questions if you have them.
If you'd like to see anything.
Yep, because.
Kind of feeling this out.
Yep, and because apparently I'm just all over the place with this one, fighting. There we go. I think now I'm in business.
Also, these are my psychedelic shoes.
Yes, this is the shoes that we were talking about. And so if you have a 7'6" ceiling, just don't let your person that you're photographing wear psychedelic gigantic heels, because that's what we're doing here. All right, cool. We're up. See, oh, and then of course I did that. Man, this distance thing is really working for me. Get yourself a cheerleader, everybody.
Yeah. If you have a friend or an assistant,
yeah,
it's always good too.
Also, you don't necessarily. Hopefully, in your studio, you're not having to fight with a whole bunch of video cameras.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay.
We do have some awesome.
Ready to rock?
Okay.
So now we're about 10 feet away from Kate. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Cool. So let's pull these images up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll let you handle that. Boop. It's me. So, let's go. So this is that first one, then we went closer. Okay, cool. Let's go. Let's see, can I just move these things around? Probably not. All right. This is. I really should have thought about this one. Can I just sort the way that I want to sort them? Oh, let's do it like this. I can sort it with rating. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just see if this worked. And because I really want them to pop up the correct way. So let's go with a rating all the way at the top. There we go. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope. Got to hold down that. Okay, cool. Here we go. So now we have something in order here. So let's see what we're highlighting. That's 3. So here we go. So this was that shot where we were really close. We were about a foot away from Kate. What that's doing is it's going to, the light's going to hit Kate and it's going to fall off way faster. You can see kind of how dark this background's gotten. This shot right here is a little over. So let's pull that back to a proper exposure. Something like right there. So right here, this is that about a foot away. My face is way up here. Let me get down here so you can see me. You're not talking to my chin. So right here, we're about a foot to 2 feet away with Kate. again, what you're seeing is the light hitting her here. Not only is it falling off fast down her body, so we're starting to get into a lot more shadow down here, but it's falling off fast towards the background. So now this background from over here is the exact same background here, but now what we're dealing with is that light falling off and not making it back there. And so we're getting that deeper, richer color.
As far as me from the background, that did not change.
Yeah, so the position with Kate didn't change from the background. She's still probably 7 to 8 feet away from it in all of these shots. So again, like I said, the consistency that we're trying to keep in these images is Kate and the camera, and the thing that stays moving is the light itself. So here is that first shot we took, which is technically should have been the second shot. This is about 3 feet away from Kate. So it's about double that distance from this shot. What we're getting here is we're getting the light's taking a little bit longer to fall off. So we're getting more illumination down Kate's body. And what's happening is some more of that light is starting to hit the background. So we're starting to lighten up here a little bit. So it's starting to look really, really nice. So here, I mean, this looks nice too. It just depends on what it is that you're looking to achieve with the shot. Don't let my opinion about the stuff that I like sway you in the way that you want to light your images. I think that's the biggest point. But I'm going to say the things that I like because that's just the stuff that I like. So this here, I prefer this image with more illumination. Now we're starting to get more into kind of the things that I like to shoot whenever I'm doing my photography. So the cool thing here is we've got the light backed up now about 6 feet, so about double the distance. This one, the TTL exposure is probably maybe, hold on a second, let's go here. Let's highlight this thing. Boom, cool. Let's flatten that back out. There we go.
Just more even.
Yeah, it was picking up my setting whenever I pulled this one down. I believe that here, let's even out that number 4 position too, because it should still. The one cool thing about Capture One is that it will maintain your settings across the board, but the downside is if you don't want them, it doesn't work very well.
You're moving around your light.
So here we go with this shot here. Again, the light is starting to fall off a lot further. So this is what distance is going to do for your images when you're lighting. So this is stuff to keep in mind. So now we've talked about how going up and down is going to change the way the light falls on the subject in the background. Same thing with distance. Now what distance is going to do is allow the photons to spread out more and to become more even, and you're going to get more illumination across the entire image. So now if we look at Kate, way more of her lower body is evenly lit in conjunction with her upper body, whereas when the light was super close, this is the main lighting situation. And because again that light has more time to fall off, it also has more time to fall off to the background. So now we're getting a brighter background, and that's same thing continuing over here to the 10 foot away image. We have almost completely even illumination top to bottom on Kate. Background almost completely even illumination other than the shadow that she is casting to the background, but her distance, the upside for her is that her distance allows for that shadow to feather out a little bit more and be a little more subtle. So this is what distance is going to get you when it comes to shooting your subjects. So now let's just move the light around around Kate and see how
within the same plane.
Yeah, so relatively within the same plane. We're going to kind of go in a semicircle. But so what we're going to do now is we're going to move the light around Kate to see how those shadows. So what we're going to do here, let me just lay this baseline out. I'm going to put the light nose level, just above nose level, kind of like where I like it. And then we're going to sweep it around Kate to see how a split light looks, a Rembrandt light looks, a butterfly light looks, a loop light looks, and kind of how moving your light around your subject's face will change the way that they look. So she's probably not going to like this. Let's do this. She'll love the butterfly light.
Yes, I know that's a thing.
She'll love the loop light. She'll make sure I never show you. She'll make sure I never show you the split light image.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's get. I just want to get this back over here because I'm just.
Although split light is pretty cool.
The split light is cool.
It depends on what you're going for.
As long as you're using it, as long as you're using it for what it is that you're trying to achieve. Like all light is cool. It's just is it telling the story? Is it doing the thing that you want it to do? And if it isn't, then don't do that light. All right, cool. So let's start with split. Let's go all the way crazy. Actually,
is there a grid on the light, Chris?
there's no grid. That's another thing. So you can control this even more. So you can actually see it now. There's no grid on the light. You can control this even more with the grid, but this is just to show you if you don't have a grid, this is how you can take that just the same modifier and make it look a whole bunch of different ways. So let's start with split light first. Your hair is parted to that side. Cool. So we're gonna go this way.
Same position?
Yeah, let's go same position.
And
I'm gonna try to keep.
I'm gonna shift them, sorry.
Yeah.
So they can see what's going on here.
I'm gonna try to keep the light the same distance from Caitlin the entire time. Let's back it up. Let's give it some distance so we can see how it hits the background. So we're kind of here.
Sorry, I'm gonna move it one more time. I think they need a full screen.
You're fine.
Easier
I'm
to
also
see.
trying to position my light stand so that we don't tip over, because we are on a grip arm.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so. What do we?
I'd say we're about 5 feet from me.
Okay.
4.5.
Cool. And then I want to go maybe just a hair higher. Just like right there.
So above my nose line.
Yeah, definitely above the nose. The actual flash itself is above your headline. So, which is technically above nose line. So let's go here.
I can't tell. Can everybody see what's going on?
Yes, everyone can see
Okay,
it.
great.
Yep. So here is, and so for the most part, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. Let's just keep this. Let's keep this party moving. Let's go to my controller app for my camera, and I'll just walk around. This will make it way easier.
Yeah, so you can flash right from there. That's
Yep.
great.
And then let's make sure we're in TTL mode. We are. Perfect.
If you don't know what Chris is doing,
I have a Bluetooth trigger for that white button you see, Bluetooth trigger for my camera. So I'm just gonna walk around without having to do much. So here we go. This is a split light shot. Here, let me make sure we're focused on you real fast before I go crazy. Go chin down just a hair. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. So that's gonna be more of a split light. Then we're gonna come here, a little bit more of a Rembrandt. Oh, I didn't give you time to set, my bad. It's fine though. So more of your Rembrandt look. Then here, although that is 100% gonna be in the shot, isn't it? Yeah, that is a pole right through Kate.
man, we thought we were gonna streamline.
We thought we were gonna keep it so stream. There we go. Oh, that's perfect. That's what we need. So let's make sure that the light's not in there. I'm gonna go up just a hair to keep it out of the shot because I have a feeling we're gonna have to do that for the butterfly light. Here we go.
And
3.
don't worry, we will pop all of
Yep,
these.
all these will be
shots
up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Beautiful loop light. So now we're gonna come here. I've got to come off to the side just a little bit so we can kick the light over. Back across. Here we go. Whoop. Don't fight me. Cool. We're there. Let's make sure we're not in the shot. We're 100% in the shot. So upsees a little bit. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. So that should have been a lovely butterfly shot.
Yes.
Fantastic. Cool. That's
all we need?
Yeah, I think that's all we need because it's just going to look the exact same as we start going around. Although, here, we'll just go here for a second and talk about it.
And then hold on, sorry, friends. There we go.
Kate's getting weird.
Well,
Let's-
you know, just trying to do my job over here.
You know what? Let me take your space from you. So, kind of here are those 4 light positions. And again, a lot of this is going to talk about the same things that we were talking about as the light went up and down. So as the light starts to move out around, you're gonna start raking that light across your subject, in this case, Kate. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna make more shadows. And what do shadows do? They define things. They show us lines, wrinkles, whether or not your shirt has creases in it, all that kind of stuff. It shows all of those things. And so something like a split light is going to show a lot more of that stuff. So if you're looking to emphasize,
yeah.
if you're looking to emphasize something, maybe you want something more like a split light, something more like a Rembrandt light. So that your first image here is a split light. It's straight on. It's called split light because it splits Kate right down the middle. You can see this side of her face is illuminated. This side of her face is not illuminated. So then we go over here to a Rembrandt light. This is that triangle that you always hear about on the opposite cheek of the light. Again, really, really beautiful light. It's going to have some more definition than like a butterfly light or a loop light because the light's still kicked out pretty far to the side. About that, this is where this is a little bit more than 45 degrees. This is probably more like 60 degrees off your subject. A really nice light, really dramatic, beautiful stuff. People use it a lot. It's a really, really nice light. Again, if you're not trying to emphasize things like wrinkles and stuff like that, it can. So something to pay attention to. Then over here with your loop light, this is more of that 45 degrees off from your subject that you always hear people talk about. Like, should I put my light 45 and up? This is kind of that setup. So again, you're getting a lot more light on your subject, that little bit of a loop under the nose. Let's see here. So you have a little bit, I probably could have kicked it over to the side just a hair more. But that
it is there.
The loop is there. It's just a small loop. And honestly, I probably could have emphasized it a little bit more by raising the light up just a hair, whatever. But that's more of your loop light. It's going to cover more of the face while still giving you some direction. So the light, you can feel the light coming from a place. So loop light's really, really beautiful. Again, one of my favorite setups. And then this is butterfly light. Butterfly light is really, really nice on Kate because she has good cheekbones. So the light coming from above can fall down and can emphasize the jawline a little bit more. It's called butterfly light because the shadow under the nose looks like a butterfly flying towards you like that. So that's why it's called butterfly light. We'll dive into these things another day and get deeper into it and stuff like that. But this is how the lighting position is actually going to change this. Now you have this light coming straight on at you. It's going to fill everything. So if you're looking to get rid of everything for the most part, at least around the face, kind of what's closest to the light, as you can tell, as the light starts to fade off down Kate's body, you're going to start to see some more like the creases of the pants and stuff like that because that light is still directional, but it's just going this way as opposed to going, I don't really know how to show this, instead of coming this way, if that makes sense. It's down and straight as opposed to down and to the side. So a little bit less direction with the butterfly light than something like the loop, Rembrandt, and the split light. So again, lighting direction is going to change the moods of all your stuff. Your split light is going to be something moodier. It's going to be something a little more, I don't want to say sinister. That's not the word that you're necessarily going for, but it's something you can definitely emote something a little bit darker with split light, which is kind of cool. Your Rembrandt light is going to still be really dramatic, kind of romantic, a really, really nice look and feel to it. Still some good direction, some nice shadow. So again, drama is usually defined by the shadow in a scene. Then you're going to start getting into, a lighter natural feel with something like your loop light, this image here, the third one, something that feels a little more even. And then you're going to get to your butterfly light, which is nice. It's airy. It's this, all-encompassing light. Really, really nice stuff. The other thing to pay attention to, the light for the most part stayed the same distance from Kate. Another way to control the color on your background is going to be how the light is positioned at your subject. So over here, the light is pushed off super hard to the side, so we're getting this big gradient and some more of the light hitting the background. As we start to kick it around here, the light is still raked off to the side of Kate, so we're still getting a nice deep color. And then as we start getting into the loop light, we're getting more light hitting towards the background, and then the butterfly light, the light is coming straight on, it's facing the background, and you're getting some more coverage. So things that you pay attention to there as well. You can affect that by changing the distance of your subject to the background. You could also still continue to affect this by changing the light to your subject distance. You have to take all of these factors into consideration when you're doing this stuff. Cool. Any other questions before?
Yeah, check it out.
The Rembrandt creates an odd nose shadow. Well, the Rembrandt creates that. So, oh, and do you use double diffusion? I am using double diffusion. I usually use double diffusion on all my soft boxes. But some people like the triangle shadow the nose creates with Rembrandt light. Again, it's a personal preference. Again, something that's is going to feel a little more dramatic, a little more romantic. your Rembrandt light. So cool. So real fast, let's just kind of scooch through these things one more time and talk about it. So we have our, let's see, I have things all over the place. So let's just do this really quick oh, no, don't do that, Siri. I don't want to talk to you. Stop it. Of course, Siri has to be like right where I was doing that. Okay, cool. So we have, let's get to our uplight shot.
Yeah.
So uplight.
I don't know if I was leaning back, but it kind of looks like I'm leaning back.
That was the uplight shot. There we go. So here are the shots going. This is changing the height of the image. So here we're shooting from below. Here we're shooting directly at nose level. So the midline of the light. So I can show you what I'm talking about. On a softbox, generally the midline, unless it's an asymmetric softbox, which I haven't seen one since we discontinued ours, the midline of the softbox for the most part has the flash head. So this image is this flash head directly at the midline on her nose. So that's this image here. It makes a weird shadow to me. If you love it, you love it. Nothing wrong with that. Here is going to be up above that nose line, actually probably closer a little bit above eye line to the top of the head, where the actual flash head of the unit is. So is still softbox coming down below that around her face, but the midline is up above eyes, top head. This is what I feel is a little bit more natural. It's where I would tell you to go if you're just getting into lighting, just because it's safe. It's really, really nice. And then here, especially if you only, go back to this third shot, especially if you only have one light and you don't have any foam core or any way of reflecting the light back, which I think you can get a bed sheet if you needed to. So, I mean, you might have a way of reflecting it back. So here is where I would go when you're first starting. And then here, we're way up high. We're up towards the ceiling. We're about 10 feet up with the softbox. It's going to create some more definition only downward in a more natural way, whereas here it's a little more unnatural. It's a little more off-putting, maybe, again, sinister, something a little spooky. So something to think about there. So those were your directions: low, mid, higher, and really high, kind of raking across that scene. Then, if we go to this, they're going to be a little out of order because I'm not going to go back and trigger Siri again. I don't want to do that. So here, this third shot, the light is the closest. So this is distance. The light is closest, about 1 foot to 2 feet away from Kate. The light's going to hit her right on the face, and then it's going to fall off fast down, and it's going to fall off fast to the back. So we're going to get a really saturated background, and then we're going to get a lot of shadows falling downward. Then here, this first image, which is technically the second distance, 3 feet away, we've almost doubled the distance here. What we're seeing now is the background starting to come up some because more of those photons are hitting the background. We're starting to get more even illumination down Kate's body. Still falling off, but some more even illumination. Really, really beautiful image. Great half body shot. Really good distance for headshots. Really nice stuff.
What are the differences if you were to use umbrellas? Let's see.
Hold on, where's it out there? Okay, here it is.
Yes.
So there, Alex, what's up, Alex Red 09? So Alex is asking, what is the difference between if you're using an umbrella? No difference. I would say the only difference.
Shape in the eye? No.
No, the shape in the eye should be relatively the same. With these soft boxes, at least, they have a recessed front, so there's a little bit more of an edge. So you have a little bit more edge control. But if you're not using a diffusion panel on like a deep umbrella, you still have some of that edge control. So, but as far as the actual principles, like if you're using an umbrella or a hard light or anything like that, it's going to act the exact same way. The only thing that's going to change is the light quality on the subject. So if I was to use a Magnum instead of a softbox, we would just get a lot more pronounced shadows, if that makes sense. So you would see more detailed shadow on the background of Kate. You would see a more pronounced shadow on the nose or below the chin. You just see a harder line, but the light quality is the only thing that's going to change. So this, all the stuff that I'm showing you doesn't care what modifier you use. So cool. Thanks for that question, Alex. Josh, we are trying to stay safe out here, man.
Yeah.
Luckily,
We got lucky.
Luckily, we got,
you know,
we skirted around a lot of that stuff.
unscathed.
But we have my brother-in-law, her brother, and sister-in-law are like no power
Out of
for
power,
a minute. Yeah.
trees down. Yeah, crazy.
The eye of it went just to the west of us,
because it just
or just to the
looked like
east
it
of
was
us.
coming straight up, but then it went. Boop.
Yeah, we lucked out
Yeah,
big time.
so-
So it's big blessings. Really thinking about all the people affected by the hurricane out there. We definitely were lucky. So I'm not going to take that for granted. So now we've talked about height. We've talked about distance. Now we're going to talk about the actual kind of that orbiting plane around Kate. So here we have split light followed by a Rembrandt light, a loop light into a butterfly light. So these are going starting at Kate's side. And so we're hard out to the side here with the split light. It's called split light because it splits Kate right in half. You can tell that the shadow starts at her nose and falls off. So split light. And then we kick it around just a little bit, maybe 60 degrees. So here we're about 90 degrees off axis. Here we're about 60 degrees off axis for the Rembrandt light shot. Rembrandt light's going to give, so let's go back to split light for a second. Split light's going to be a little more ominous, a little more, again, I don't want to say sinister, but what's the word I'm looking for? I said it a while ago and I totally forgot. It's just, it's got more of a spooky vibe to it. Maybe devious. Yeah, let's go devious and not sinister. So your split light. So whereas you're going to start getting into your Rembrandt light, this third one where my loop is hovering over, that is going to be more of a dramatic shot, something that feels a little bit more romantic. It does have a lot more shadow in it. That nose shadow does produce the triangle under the cheek. That is the Rembrandt look. That's the look. Depending on how you have the light placed, how large the subject's nose is,
Hey,
you will have different size triangle shadows on that cheek. So something to keep in mind. I didn't say anything. What are you talking about? So again, your Rembrandt light's going to feel a little bit more dramatic, a little more romantic. Then you're going to start getting into your loop lights, this third shot here. So now we're kind of off to that traditional like 45 degrees that everyone talks about. I would probably say you were probably more in like the 30 to 45 degree range here. This light is really nice. Again, for someone just starting out in photography, take the light, get it up about, get the middle of the light above eye line, 30 to 45 degrees over to the side, and then probably back it up 3 to 4 feet, and you're golden. Like that's where you should start. It's going to be the easiest, most replicable, even light that you can get. Really, really nice stuff. That's this light setup right here. That's that distance, beautiful light source covering a lot of the body. We're getting a nice fall off down to the down the thigh, down to the knee. Lots of nice coverage. We're getting some definition on the face. There is still some directionality to the light itself. It's really nice. And then if your subject is well endowed with cheekbones, I'm not. I have a watermelon head, so I need things to actually give me shape to my face. She doesn't. She has really nice cheekbones, which will emphasize kind of that jawline, give kind of like a nice little shadow here. Whatever. And I feel like now you're rubbing it in. Mm-hmm. So this is where butterfly light, this style of light, is really nice because that butterfly light is coming from directly in front, straight down, falling down, hitting those cheekbones, making a nice shadow here, giving some definition. Really nice stuff. If you did this with me, my head would just look more like a basketball, and I don't want that. So more shadows, the better. The less you can see of me, the better. But butterfly light is really beautiful. Again, the upside for this is we're going to get a nice even light thrown towards the background. The shadows are going to start falling off down lower, whereas here the shadow starts kicking off down towards the side. Just we're controlling that with the direction of the light. So beautiful stuff. So that is how light position is going to affect your overall images. Really, really good stuff to know. Come back and reference this if you ever have any questions. You can jump back here to the end and look at this stuff. You don't have to watch us move the light around and me try to boom it over my camera. Yeah, come back to the end and we can break all this stuff down. But this is just supposed to be a reference for anyone out there who's trying to figure out, where do I put my light? This is how moving that light is going to change what your image looks like.
One single light.
One
no
light,
fill.
no fill,
Yeah.
no extra modifiers on top of my softbox. There's no grids, no nothing. All we're doing is using the edge. So I saw something else pop up. Let's see.
What power is the light?
Oh, so the light power, here we go. Alex was asking what power is the light. The light power changed. So the last image I took of Kate, that butterfly light shot, we're on a B10X Plus. We're at a power level of 7.9, and that's based off of my camera settings at f8, ISO 100, shutter speed of 125. I keep my camera closed down and low detection because there's a lot of video lights that can get into the shot and I don't want it to. You can change all of that stuff because you're probably not going to be battling with all this stuff in your studio while you're trying to do this. So 7.9 on the power. That changed depending on the distance. For the most part, when we were doing the height, it probably didn't change very much. It was probably still in that 6-7 range. But yeah, and then as we started to back the light up, I would say when we were probably 10 feet back, we were probably pushing closer to that, upper 9s, almost full power. And again, that's because we're running through a softbox. We've got a lot of distance, and I have my camera closed down. So things to keep in mind. Yes, the B10. Oh, that's not a B10. That's a B10X Plus. I believe this is the Plus. Yes. So that's the 500 watt version. But still, so that's that last shot at 7.9. That would just be 8.9 on the B10. So that's the power difference. It's just a stop of light. So the B10 could have easily done this. I just put the Plus on there so I had because I know that I'm going to be shooting with my camera closed down pretty decently to keep the studio lights out. So I always kind of opt for the extra power. So cool. Again, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We actually have a really cool live next week too. If you haven't signed up for the ProPhoto newsletter, you should do that because
gives you an idea of what to expect
each month. We're going to be doing some automotive photography, more specifically a motorcycle next week, which would be really, really fun. To be something different we've never done on this before. Big shout out to her brother.
Yeah, that was someone who he asked us to try it. So so we
lucked out.
To that,
her brother builds really cool old motorcycles. And so big thanks to Bobby for hooking us up with that. You'll see the Ducati next week. Yeah. So if you have any questions, anything that you want to see, you can DM me. I'll let Kate throw up my my IG handle. So I'm gonna come super weird over the shoulder. If you have any questions, you can feel free to shoot me a DM here on my IG. Is probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. That's me right there, the Chris Fain. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions of things that you want to see, just hit us up. Be more than happy to share all this stuff with you. Talk about light and stuff all the time. That's actually where the idea of this one even came from, because I've had a lot of people recently asking me.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Where should we put the light? So let us know. I hope, can we just double check one more time, make sure we don't miss anything in the chat before I say bye to everybody?
Let's do that.
Last one.
Sorry. I'm gonna move that there.
Cool.
Here we go.
I think we have keen to get the new soft boxes in Australia.
Am I going to be on the motorcycle? No.
No, Kate's not going to be on the motorcycle. I wouldn't trust her on the motorcycle.
I do not trust myself. My brothers all ride motorcycles, not me.
Not Kate.
Yeah.
Let's see. She's more of a skier.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Keen to get the new soft boxes in Australia. My RFI 3x4s are over 10 years old and still going strong. The new soft boxes are nice, and the new 3x4 is a really beautiful soft box. So I think you'll like it. But again, in the meantime, if y'all have any questions, DM me at the Chris Fain. Have an awesome rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.